My name is Dakara.
And I'm Cupcakes.
And I'm Stillwaters.
Welcome to Tea with Cubes. Everybody has an opinion about breastfeeding.
Well, mothers.
Well,
everybody has. Even men have opinions about breastfeeding.
And you know what?
Single people?
Yes, that's what I was about to say.
Opinions
a lot of single people have single without kids.
Okay.
Have opinions.
Yes.
Non-parents have opinions about breastfeeding. People who it does affect them in any way, shape, or form.
How do you know it doesn't affect them?
How?
Some people will say that they're sitting down and they're looking at you breastfeeding. That's affecting my comfort.
Okay, except that.
But they have opinions about the other side of breastfeeding, whether you should or shouldn't.
A lot of people have opinions.
Like,
what problem scene?
No, didn't I say she's pregnant, man?
Okay. So, breastfeeding obviously is the act of feeding your child, a newborn,
on the breast.
It doesn't have to be a newborn. Breastically wise.
Yeah.
Yes.
Using your.
Yes.
So it happens when after pregnancy.
Yes.
So
after you've had the baby, you breastfeed your child. The World Health Organization and
is the first part.
Yes. That's why the World Health Organization says that it is it is highly imperative, highly important for your child to get breastfed within the first 24 hours of their life. No,
you're talking about the colostrum.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Within the first 24 hours of their life. In fact, within the first hour. Within the first hour of their life. The WHO recommends that you must breastfeed your child.
Because
and the why?
That colostrum.
You say and the why?
He said the WHO. Like where? And then the what?
Because the colostrum holds all these nutrients.
All the nutrients
and antioxidants and
it's funny, the colostrum is like
I know, it's so tiny.
It's so small.
It would barely even feel like a teaspoon.
Yeah, but they're tiny.
I said barely now. I said barely feel a teaspoon.
But the babies are tiny, so that's fine.
I know.
Yeah. But you know what's funny? When I had these flakes on my nipples, and I was like taking it off. This was before I had my kid, and I was like taking it off. And they were like, why is it? Actually, I think I was going to say, why are you taking that off? I was like, because it just looks weird and it looks like unclean. And she was like, you know that's part of your colostrum, right? I was like, oh. She was like, yeah, don't do that.
Because for some women, they start to produce even before the baby.
Well, mine was like a crusty looking situation.
Yeah.
And she was like, don't do that. I said, oh, okay.
I just had the most random thought about the colostrum. Like, well, you know what? If it's so amazing, shouldn't they try and bottle it? Shouldn't they try and bottle it for like drugs and stuff? But then that's taken away from the baby. So no, don't do that.
It's not even that much. It's like,
well, some people.
But they replicate it, like for drugs.
No.
I mean, then that means you have to suction it out
from a woman
and then not give to the baby.
Yeah.
No.
Sorry.
Okay.
That's my scientist mind.
So, well, the WHO resolution is that all kids, if possible, all should be breastfed between exclusively between the moment of birth up until 6 months exclusively, because that is the most nutritious way of feeding. It has all the nutrients and all the things that they need to survive in those first 6 months.
Yes.
Now, there are other countries such as the UK that have extended it and said that you can breastfeed, and I think the WHO does extend it too, but UK specifically puts the age that says you should continue to breastfeed.
Exclusively?
No, not yes, exclusively, but in addition, I shouldn't say exclusively.
You can't say exclusively.
Yeah, so breastfeed in addition to
formula.
No,
milk,
grains and
food, solids,
fruits, and vegetables and all that up until 2 years old.
Yes.
I do not think the WHO does not put the age on it.
No, it does.
Up to 2.
It says 0 to 23 months. I read it here.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Well, that is the
0
resolution.
to 23 months, yeah.
And then there's controversy behind it, especially in the US, that the government is trying to censor that and say, you don't have to and all that. So there are many controversies behind it. However, we can start talking about the benefits of breastfeeding.
I think before we get to the benefits, like, should we talk about the benefits now, or should we like talk about our breastfeeding?
No,
stories?
let's do the benefits and then get to the stories.
Okay.
Oh well, I can start off by saying, we already said it's healthy for the baby, but it gives long-term protection. Yeah, against some chronic illnesses like that.
That's breastfeeding for the exclusive for 6 months. Okay.
Celiac disease, Crohn's disease, and stuff like that. And then it gives the baby the antibodies that they need, you know, to survive in those. And then the antibodies actually build up, and then over like it becomes a part of them as they're growing up and stuff, and they're able to fight, you know, sicknesses, ear infections, all these things. Yeah, some of them don't have. Like my kid didn't have until she was 2.
Wow.
She didn't have an ear infection until she was 2.
Okay.
That was when we started that everything was in the
everything.
doctor's office. Yeah, so all those fevers and stuff like that. And then the research shows it reduces SIDS. You know,
that's the sudden infant death syndrome.
Yes, it reduces the chances of SIDS. And then for the women, obviously, it's a calorie burner. It bonds you with your baby, even though that's neither here nor there.
Is it really a calorie burner?
Yes.
Like, do you really lose that much weight?
I agree.
You really lose that much weight?
You do.
We gonna get there.
And then women are not, they have a better chance of, there's something called postpartum osteoporosis, where your bones get weak. Yeah, but breastfeeding provides you with that strength. And I don't really know how, because I didn't really go into it. But yeah, it like strengthens your bones, so your bones are better after breastfeeding.
Okay.
So yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so it's really interesting. I guess this is why the UNICEF, WHO, that's why they all want breastfeeding.
CDC, everybody.
Yeah, everybody wants it because it really, I guess research has shown that it really is beneficial.
So it's beneficial to the infants and to the mothers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And it's also environmentally safe.
Yes, it is.
In there.
Because.
And it's cheap.
Well, that's a
no-brainer. It's free.
$3.99. And it's environmentally safe because, you know, they're not like creating formulas, all these things.
Yeah,
it's coming directly. It's natural.
Okay. So on that note, if it is environmentally safe, people need to mind their businesses when other ladies are breastfeeding in the public area.
We will get to that because...
What?
Yes.
It's environmentally safe, so you're helping the environment
exactly.
too.
So why would other people like feel some kind of way if somebody else is breastfeeding? Hello, you just stated the.
I don't think
just
it's
wait
that
first.
way.
Wait first.
Okay.
See, this is why the argument comes from. You just stated the benefits, the pros of breastfeeding, and we all know, a lot of people know, children feed on demand. You know, and they do.
Some.
Well, the WHO says that you should feed on demand.
WHO is wrong in that aspect.
No, they're not.
Why are they wrong? They say it's better for you to feed on demand.
Let's keep. They are wrong. Sorry.
Why are they wrong?
You just don't believe in feeding on demand.
Feeding on demand is not good for it. It's not good for you. It's not good for your child. Sorry. If you feed on demand, you are always on. You're never off.
They sleep and then they will come wake up.
No,
and then
feeding on demand is this baby can feed 30 minutes, 1 hour, 30
How many
minutes,
babies
1
are
hour,
feeding every 30 minutes?
Your one child. That's what feeding on demand is. Whenever they want it, they get it. So
Yeah,
they're
but
never
how
on
many?
a schedule. So it's like 30 minutes here,
The
1
thing
hour here,
is-
30 minutes here. So you.
Okay, here's the thing. I think you're more of a you remember. I think
It's good.
we've talked
Schedules
about.
are good for babies.
I think we've talked about structured schedules, and you know, with babies, there's baby-led schedule, parent-led schedules, and accommodation schedules. You're more of a parent-led schedule kind of person. So for you, it is you wake up at this time, you eat at this time, you do
Because
for me, I was
Don't you go to
more.
work at this
I don't
time?
think.
Don't you eat at this time? Don't you do?
Yes, now, but
Yeah.
no,
Why
but,
don't you restrict the kids to do
No,
whatever
but
they
no.
want?
See, now that
And then
is-
when they get to school, they have a problem because they can't stay on schedule.
So you cannot say that the WHO
No,
is
they are
wrong.
wrong.
No, to you, that is your opinion.
To you.
They
Okay.
have done their research. For them, it is beneficial for you to feed on demand.
But maybe their on demand is different. Maybe they have a different explanation for it. Because if it's the way real on demand, like tandem feeding works, which is on demand,
But-
if it's that way,
but
I don't see how they can say that's beneficial.
But
Because
those-
women are extensively tired.
but those kind of feedings though, tandem feeding, cluster feeding, or whatever, it's not even all the time. because there are phases of the infant's life that they will get into that cluster feeding / tandem feeding period. It doesn't last, but that
Can you explain cluster feeding or tandem feeding for people that don't know?
It's pretty much like for when the child, and you notice when the child is going through a growth spurt, their feeding habits, like it increases. So whereas like you might be you used to put the baby on for like and let's say 15 minutes, and baby is good to go for like another hour. During a baby's or infant's growth spurt, they can nurse for that same 15 minutes, but before you know what's happening, in the next 30 minutes they're hungry again, because it is a growth spurt. So that's you now put them again on the other one, and then that you just go through that cycle. Some babies cluster feed for a couple of days. Some can cluster feed maybe for like a day. Some can cluster feed for a week. It doesn't. Everybody is different, and that's why for me, when it comes to like especially in at least the first 6 months, I believe in baby led. Feed the child when the child is hungry. So, but I don't want to get into, because that'll be part of the stories. But what I'm trying to say about the whole environmentally safe thing, and with your pros and women breastfeeding, this should actually pretty much like give other women a boost. Be like, okay, you know what? If the who and the why and the what, WHO, if they are actually coming out and saying all these things, then you as a breastfeeding mother, you really shouldn't have that limit as like be like,
you feel more empowered.
You should feel more empowered. Like, okay, you know what? I'm going by what you're saying, because you're saying that I need to feed my child the breast milk because what?
No, I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Oh, Zina said her internet is hanging. She's not hearing well. Sorry. Is that Mnet? No, the Mnet is TV. It's cable. Anyways, yeah. So it should empower them and not actually want to keep them in a cage of when it comes to
like where you should breastfeed, how
you should breastfeed and all of that. So
we'll get there.
We will get there.
Right there.
But anyways, your thingy, I don't think it's right for you to say that WHO is wrong in this. It's just that you just don't agree with that. Because somebody could somebody could come and say
demand and
no, because
structure.
somebody
You
can
can't just say demand.
Because somebody can come and say that they are wrong about children being exclusively breastfed for 6 months. Why can you say that they're wrong? Just because you did does not make them wrong.
It's medically based now.
How do you know this is not medically based? They do their research. That's why they come up with their recommendations.
Okay.
It's based on research, based on data.
Okay.
Which I'm getting into.
WHO,
data analytics is
I think that you
for
should expand to say other types of feeding methods, which include structure, not just demand.
I think that also maybe has a lot to do with maternity leave, though. I think so.
Right.
Because I think that if you have adequate maternity leave, I think if you have adequate,
if you have
listen,
8 weeks for 6
no, that is not adequate. 6. It's not adequate.
I didn't say what.
No, but that's what I'm
just saying that.
But what I am saying,
the norm in America is 6 weeks.
I know, but what I am saying is because WHO is saying 0 to 6 months exclusively breastfed. They would prefer. Sorry.
Let me piggyback on what you're saying. Yes, but piggyback on what you're saying, because with the whole maternity leave thing, it is known that in America they do have the worst maternity leave period.
In developed countries.
Yes, it is known, because everyone actually says the best bonding time between a mother and a child is actually that first 6 months of that kid's life.
0 to 1 year.
No, but 0 to 1 year, yes, that's fine. But at least that's 0 to 6. But here, 0 to 6 months. But here in this country, like you were saying, maternity leave, you get 6 weeks. In that 6 weeks, a whole lot of...
vaginal 6 weeks.
Yes, vaginal 6 weeks. 12
6 weeks paid, 6 weeks unpaid.
No, that's not everywhere. That's not everywhere.
The requirement is 6 weeks vaginal, is 8 weeks cesarean. You can extend to 12 weeks on FMLA.
Oh, okay. If you don't.
Well, some places for C-section was 12 weeks. I got 12 weeks because I had C-section for both of the kids. But then if
She has like the best insurance, the best job ever.
Right now.
It's only your job that gave you 12 straight weeks, no problem.
No, but it's C-section though.
That's what I'm saying.
But okay,
Remember,
people, like, I think we're
supposed to-
getting.
Yes.
I want to finish my point.
No,
Okay,
go ahead, go
okay.
ahead.
About the recommendation of 0 to 6 months, tying it with maternity leave. If you have adequate maternity leave, like you should have, at least 6 months, then I think that you can sit down at home and exclusively breastfeed your child.
That's what I was trying to say.
But
It was.
yeah, but that's what I was starting to say.
But then you got
said,
something
let
and
me
do camera and then you shushed me.
So let me piggyback.
Exactly.
No.
Vicky said the norm in the UK is 6 to 9 months
Yes.
for maternity leave, and that
That's
that
why
would also
You
help.
guys are so lucky.
Which is funny though, because Vicky,
6 months.
in the UK, in the UK, 74% of mothers start breastfeeding when their children are newborns. 74%.
Okay.
Which means that 26% don't. But 44% are still exclusively breastfeeding at 6 weeks. And only 36% of women are exclusively breastfeeding at 6 months. Just 36%. So
But
even if
meanwhile, they have this longer.
well, they have their long maternity leave. They're entitled to that long maternity leave, but they are not, I guess, taking advantage of it. But then again, isn't that what we saw? That in the developed countries are less likely to breastfeed their children.
Yeah.
Right. And I lost my train of thought with what you just said. What did you say? Before you just said this one?
UK, 36%, even with their maternity.
Yes. On that, I wouldn't say that they're not taking advantage. Let's now. This might be a when or where the individual woman might now have been struggling with breastfeeding.
Right, and I think we will get to that as well, because there are reasons why I'll get to why women stop breastfeeding earlier than recommended.
Okay.
But I think now's a good time to talk. Let's talk about our breastfeeding stories. It's 4:36 now. Can we do it in 10 minutes collectively?
Just make me laugh.
What?
Yeah, no, okay.
Because we have other things. I don't want to go back to.
Okay.
Yeah, don't go. Oh yeah.
Okay. My breastfeeding story is going to be very quick. I had my child last year. I thought that I would be like my sister, who is like
A cow.
a cow. She's like 2 cows in one. Okay, so I thought that I would easily breastfeed Chloe, but it was very hard from the beginning. At first, it looked like okay, it would come, but I didn't have enough milk to give her. What?
So I'm listening to you.
You're doing your eyes like I didn't have enough milk to feed her. So very early on, before we even left the hospital, she was on formula as well. So I never exclusively breastfed Chloe, and it was just hard. So let's say maybe she ate 8 times a day. Maybe 2 or 3 of those times would be me breastfeeding her, then the rest of the time was formula. And as time went on, because I wasn't feeding her, because I couldn't get out as much, it was just harder and harder for me to produce milk. I tried the pumping every 2 hours. I was exhausted. I think I did 6 weeks at home. It was 8 weeks. Yes, okay. It was 7 weeks that I stayed at home.
Okay.
After having her, and then I went back to work, and as I was coming up on the 3-month mark, her 3-month mark, at that point, like I had tried all kinds of things. I had tried feeding or pumping every 2 hours, which was tiring me out. I had tried mother's milk tea, which was.
Said she wasn't producing.
I had tried mother's milk tea. I didn't mind it. I like the tea very much, but it just didn't do that much. I was drinking fenugreek tablets. I went to go and buy wheat germ and all these things to make lactation cookies and make lactation granola. You remember the granola, which was very nice too. I know how to make granola. It was very nice. Anyways, I made lactation cookies. I made lactation smoothies, and then eventually, like I was doing all of this at the same time, and I still was not getting like the most amount of milk I ever pumped in one sitting was 3 ounces, and that happened only one time.
Was that from one or was that combined?
That was combined. Combined. If I got up to 1 ounce on any day, like the whole day, that was a good day for breastfeeding. So I just did not have enough milk. It just was not coming. I tried my hardest, and I mean, I cried countless times. I mean, I told you people now, like, it was just hard, and I did not get. I have to say, I wasn't getting the emotional support. That's why I wanted to talk about emotional support as well, because even like we went to the doctor, and you know, the doctor, it wasn't a doctor, so it was a nutritionist and then a lactation specialist, and she was like, oh, you know what, so are you getting enough emotional support at home, you know, from your family, from your husband and everything? And I just broke down, and she was like, you know what, you can call me anytime, I will cry with you, you know, if you're not getting that, like, call me if you're not getting that emotional support, I will give it to you. So after all these things that I tried, what was that medicine that you said? Reglan. Yes, it was. I eventually convinced my midwives or doctors, whatever, to prescribe me this medicine to help increase my breast milk production. They kept saying no, 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 up until I'm like, listen, I have tried all of these other things that you have told me, and eventually started the Reglan, which increased my breast milk production, but it made me a zombie. Like, I could not stay awake.
Oh wow.
Because I'm like, why am I tired? I could not stay awake for anything. I was tired all the time, and at this point, after a week after using the Reglan, I said, you know what, I've reached about 3 months now. Chloe is fine. She's growing every day. She has gone for her doctor's checkups. Everything is fine. I cannot kill myself. I refuse to kill myself. Like, I've tried. Nobody can tell me that I did not try. I tried. I tried and I cried.
She did.
So that's my breastfeeding story. We stopped at 3 months and my child is doing fine.
Okay, Vicky said my milk was not producing that much as well, and she was told to take stout drinks or malts.
Stout, don't alcohol.
Stout is alcohol.
Like stout the beer?
Vicky, please.
Vicky, clarify. Like stout.
Nick says try to breastfeed Jax, but never latched properly. He never latched properly. Pumped for 6 months, then gave up due to supply and his appetite. Like Anita, I ate the cookies, drank tea, all that. Nothing happened. Breastfed the girls. Okay, had 2 older kids for a year, no problem, and then supplemented. Breastfeeding is hard.
I'd say yeah. Oh wow.
Oh wow.
So it's drinking alcohol.
That's
interesting.
Can you breastfeed your child if you drink alcohol?
Okay, wait.
Maybe you pump and...
Okay, yeah, exactly. Were you told to pump and dump, or
to increase the
milk, or Vicky, this is a question to you. So were you told to pump and dump, or
after drinking
the stout, or were you told to drink the stout and then still feed the baby?
Direct breastfeeding. I had problems in the beginning, and it took about a week for her to. She latched. When she was born, she latched on well. But it didn't. I didn't get the colostrum didn't come in that day. It took like 24 to 28 hours to come in. So in that time, she had gone to the nursery, and somebody had given her formula.
Without telling you?
Yeah. So when they gave her the formula, formula is really like a drug. So when they gave her the formula, nothing else mattered. Because it was immediate, it was rapid, and she could eat and all that. So I was pumping in the hospital, but I wasn't pumping like somebody that their kid had latched, because there's a difference. When they latch, the suction helps to pull and increases the demand goes up. So anyway, I pumped just a little bit, it wasn't a lot. Then it took like a whole week. Like I cut off all formula for like a whole week, and we struggled and fought and fight and cried. But then after that week though, I started breastfeeding, and I breastfed her exclusively for 6 months. And then, but I went back to work after 7 weeks.
Okay.
After 7 weeks. Then, because in the 6 weeks I was home, I breastfed her and I pumped. So I stored a lot of that in the freezer, right? So I would breastfeed at work, but I wasn't breastfeeding as much as
at work.
So yeah, so I would breastfeed and pump.
You took her to work?
Yeah, I was working in preschool now.
Oh yes.
So I took her. Yeah, no. I took her to. No, I left home before. I took her to work, and then I would breastfeed in the morning, and I would breastfeed at lunchtime.
Okay.
then after a while, they stopped giving me the time to pump. Right? I had the time to pump. Yeah, because that's the way life is.
No, there is actually a rule and a law.
That is when you work for a big company that's
I'm telling
you
everywhere.
It is a law. No doubt. But when you work for a small,
you could have sued them.
Look,
I mean,
I don't have enough money to sue somebody that owns a school, and they will obviously tell me, but you did it, and we gave you this time, and there's no documentation to show whether I didn't get it or didn't get.
Wow.
That was the beginning of it. I didn't sign anything. This was word of mouth, so they could have said anything really.
Wow.
So I stopped getting the time to. So I was pumping at night, like in overdrive, to keep that demand going. I was pumping at night, and I would pump all evening and breastfeed just to keep up the demand. And then by 8 months, I was like, she didn't exclusively breastfeed for 8 months. We stopped exclusive breastfeeding at like
6 months. You said
5.
Okay.
And then
they started supplementing.
Yeah, between 5 to 8 months, we were supplementing with like formula. Then 7 months, we entered cereal. The formula was dropping, and my breast milk was the only thing she was supplementing with. We didn't need the formula anymore because she was eating cereal, and then the milk reduced. So I didn't need that much milk. So and then at 8 months I stopped because my demand was low because I wasn't pumping as much anymore.
Okay.
So and then so at 8 months she stopped. But she drank whatever I had in the fridge, so technically she had to like 10 months, but
Vicky said that the stout was for milk supply, so drink it and get the milk up.
Drink fenugreek at like 6-7 months.
Yeah, she said her husband didn't like the idea, but I guess because of it being alcohol. But other people told her, hey,
that's interesting. Just bring it down.
The last time I did that, I closed my phone. And she also said, I pumped while my daughter was in the NICU. I started having... Oh, wow, that's interesting. Okay, she started bleeding while pumping because, your uterus will be contracting, which happens, in the first month. I'm not even going to read what Didi said.
What did she say?
I didn't pump.
I just threw the whole baby away.
Whatever, girl. Whatever.
Vicky also said she did breast milk for 2 months.
Exclusive?
Yes, I believe that's exclusive for 2 months. And then I'm guessing she started supplementing after 2 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's your breastfeeding story?
My breastfeeding stories.
And you're going to condense it?
Yeah.
Yes, now.
Oh, okay. Because that's stories.
And I have 2 children now, so it's 2 different stories.
Try.
What?
Similarities.
Yeah, because
look at I'm going to pull a candy on you. Okay. First one, Dean, because he was born early, like Nike mentioned about latching, he didn't latch. But from the get-go, I was told to start pumping, and with the whole cholesterol, blah blah, cholesterol. I was told about that, that even if I get like a drop or 2 is enough. Now, obviously, the first how many days of his life, I didn't feel like that was enough because actually with him being an early baby, the hospital actually made me supplement in the beginning because they needed to get his weight up before they could even discharge me. And people know about my discharge story now. They didn't weigh him before they discharged.
Oh, really? I thought they did.
No. So they had discharged me, right?
Then they told you guys to come back.
No. When once they discharge you, you're discharged. You can't go back. So they had discharged me.
But I remember them doing like the car seat test too.
That was the day before.
Oh.
I got discharged the following day.
Okay.
But then that following day, the discharge papers came before they weighed him. After they weighed him, they were like, "Who let you go?"
He was under
5 pounds. They're like, "Who let you go?"
So he shouldn't have
gone home. He actually shouldn't have come home. From what they were saying. So they were like, you know what? So let's say we went home on a Monday. The following day, bring him back to the hospital. Now I had just had the C-section, so it was Cody and Dave who actually had to take him back to the doctor because they had to keep on checking up on him for the first few weeks of his life. But anyways, So we're home. They actually gave us some milk to start supplementing with, because obviously he's low birth weight, the formula. And then I now started to produce the milk. We'll start off with the colostrum first, and I was like, oh, okay. So I was pumping that I'll be getting this much, and I was like, okay, well, the doctor said that much was enough. And they were like, yeah, because he was still too little to latch, just obviously make sure you're exclusively pumping for that milk. And I did that, and before I knew it, obviously I started producing. Then I did go on Reglan though, because at a point I noticed that my supply started to dwindle, and they had told me, especially for earlier babies, you do want them on the natural, on the breast milk, because one, like all these things, it helps them, grow better, whatever.
Maybe that's why I didn't have enough milk, because Chloe was premature.
Well, not necessarily. Not necessarily.
Okay.
Because your body will produce the milk.
Right.
Because once you have a child, your body already starts that whole milk thing, because it is the main source.
But if they're not drinking, it's not coming.
Yes, if they won't drink or latch or whatever, then it won't come. Then he eventually latched at actually 6 weeks, and he was 7 weeks early. So he did latch at around his quote-unquote birth date. And he latched, and then that was it, Okay. I was able to exclusive breastfeed him, whether it's him latching or whether it's me pumping. And as people know, well, they know, you guys don't know, I was able to store milk. I mean, I had my freezer in the garage was filled to the top with milk.
Yeah.
And then I was at home for 3 months for the 12 weeks maternity leave. Got to work. I was able to pump twice a day at work. Because of how much milk I was producing, I had to constantly empty out. Because if you don't empty out, you get mastitis. Yeah. Which I got a few times, but I noticed because I hadn't expressed. And there were some days where it wasn't my time to pump, but I'd actually have to go to the bathroom and
let it
out. So Dean exclusively latched up until 10 months, but the storage of milk that I had took him way past 12 months.
Okay.
So he was a milk, Then now for Kenzie's birth, the day and a half after I had her, I actually started producing milk, not colostrum.
They said the second baby usually.
It wasn't colostrum. It was actually milk because I got so sick. And the nurses there, they were like, they didn't understand what the fever was, because and then they were like, has your baby latched? I said she has latched, but I wasn't, and I think at that point I didn't know that actually producing stuff, because she was still a newborn now, so she can only latch for like how long? And then one nurse said, you know what, why don't we just put you on the pump? And this is a day and a half after I had Kenzie, and that first day I pumped 6 ounces, 3.
Wow.
And even then they were like,
but I know people who
so Kenzie from the get-go, she got a lot. And people know that child was on my breast, for a long while. And for her, since she co-slept with us longer than Dean did, so I was also able to, when she's hungry, I'll just feed her at night. And then at the time my maternity leave was up, I had already started working from home. So it was longer, she had a much longer time staying latched to me. I didn't get to pump as much with her than I did with Dean, because she was always, and I was at home. But it got to me because her feeding demand started to pick up. And now for her, I didn't have to get on any medication because I was already producing too much. And at a point I was like, I can't keep up with your feeding demand. So I tried to drop it. But when I tried to drop it, it was like my body was like, no. You need. So I now had to start pumping more than normal because I was producing too much milk. A lot of people might not find this funny or whatever, but I stopped Kenzie. If I did not stop her from breastfeeding,
at what age?
I stopped her on the breast at 8 months.
I stopped Christine too though.
Yeah, but you see, but like
I mean, my milk was not dry though.
Yeah,
I was
no,
still
but
like 4 ounces.
See,
on each
we
side.
have
yeah,
9
but
minutes
for
and we have a lot to
but for her
about.
though, like it was too much, and I couldn't do it anymore.
No, I'm saying
You're
that
too tired.
I was too tired.
You shouldn't feel bad about it
Like,
because I stopped my child at 8. I was like, girl, okay, you drink the one in the freezer.
I mean,
okay.
I did because I was still pumped. No,
fridge.
but I still pumped though.
How
so
long
I
did you
stopped her
drink breast
at 8. I stopped pumping at 10.
Okay.
Yeah,
so she was still drinking.
She was still drinking breast
Don't
milk.
feel bad about it, girl.
You know.
Okay. So let me get to like some of the reasons why.
See, that's what I do want to
The
do.
lockdowns again.
Some of the reasons why mothers stop breastfeeding. Stop breastfeeding early. One, because of issues with lactation and latching, so you can't get enough milk out, which was my problem. Concerns about infant nutrition and weight, like you said, you weren't sure that Dean was getting enough food. Some mothers are taking medicine for one reason or another. They got sick or whatever, so they need to take medicine and they don't want to pass that medicine on to their children.
Actually, sorry, on that medicine, sorry, I just remembered. That was actually one of the reasons why I had to stop. Why Dean did not go all the way to 12 months, because I did get very sick. I don't know if people remember when I was hospitalized, and I was on medication that they actually told me that you cannot even pump and save on everything. So at that point, actually, I almost got so sad because I felt like I was putting my baby down. Let him down. He was 10 months old.
But you got a freezer full.
You know, but still, there's just something with the
holding.
Anyways, and then other reasons why mothers stop breastfeeding early is because unsupportive work policies,
which is more common than
like they don't allow you to breastfeed. They don't allow you to pump as much as you want to, and you have short maternity leaves, which I mentioned. Then lack of family support, they're not willing to help you out or whatever, and then unsupportive hospital practices. So those are some of the reasons why women stop breastfeeding early. So a lot of times I think women, they would want to, but they're just all these factors that make them stop against their will. Although I think that there are still other women who just don't want to breastfeed.
No, there are some,
there are more
lots of them.
There are lots, yeah.
But let's talk about.
It's okay.
But sorry, but even of that, Zina said some of us are just tired of breastfeeding because remember Zina from day one. Zina said that she didn't want to, and I was like, that just put this on the breast.
Some people don't want. Some people don't want.
Yeah, but at the same time though, like sorry, I know you have a few things to say, but we should also just make it known or point out, even if people don't breastfeed or whatever, the child will still drink milk, whether it's formula or whatever. Milk is good.
Milk is
but
good, but what they're saying is that breast milk is best.
I know, but see, I just feel like, sometimes when people talk about, breastfeeding, like,
the thing is, I think there's a lot of breast milk shaming. Like, if you don't breastfeed your child, then people try to shame you, which is not right.
Yeah, but I think that there's a fine line. Like, there's some people on the side of the actual act of breastfeeding. Because if I'm expressing milk, I'm pumping,
I'm breastfeeding. Yes.
So I feel like a lot of people shame people on the act, like that actual holding, latching, all that extra stuff. Because if I don't really want my baby to be on my boob, which some people don't want to, they can express the milk and give it in a bottle.
And
the child is still breastfed.
Yes. Okay, so now let's talk about public breastfeeding and what your opinions are. I think it's fine.
Zina, you try.
I think it's fine for a woman to publicly breastfeed her child because, listen, it's a natural act. There's nothing sexual about it, and people need to take that thing away from them. It's not sexual at all. Now, that being said, I know that, and I think I feel bad about it. I feel like I would be a little bit taken aback if I see a woman bring out her breast and start breastfeeding her child without a cover. I think I would be taken aback, but I think that she has every right to, and nobody should say anything about it.
Which year was it that we went to Stone Mountain? Okay, Kenzie is 3, so it was before I was even pregnant for her. Stone Mountain, and right there was this lady. Her baby was crying. You could tell that child it was time to eat. This woman sat down on the floor where people were passing, whipped it out, and put that child on there. And me, I was like, alright, that's good, because you need to feed that kid.
Yeah.
But then it's so funny because people who were now next to me, you should have seen the disgusted looks they had on their faces. Some of them too were mothers that were holding their children. I'm like, woman, you know you did the same thing with your child, even if you were in your house. So do not try to feel like facially try to shame another mother for breastfeeding. Now you all know that me, when it comes to breastfeeding, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's a source of feeding a child. If like enter inside car, do you know what I did when Kenzie was 6 weeks old? When we took the train to Baltimore, I pumped in the train. Let someone come and dare tell me hide your boobies. I'm like, excuse me, I need to feed my child.
Okay, let Nene talk because
I did a lot of public breastfeeding.
But you had
not
cover.
Without a cover though. I did a lot of public breastfeeding. I breastfed in my car. There was actually one day we went to that teen drum. Do you remember? And I needed to breast, like I had already leaked and everything. I went to the car and I pumped. I mean, I breastfed. Now, I don't really have a problem with public breastfeeding. What I do have a problem with is the fact that people feel the need to push on others your boob. Like, if we all come to the agreement that, okay, it may happen, it may do this, yeah. But if you have the chance to cover up, please do. Yeah. It's okay to cover up when there's other people in the room. It's okay. If they don't,
I'm indifferent to that.
But you're pushing that on me. It's like, okay, why is it that when we see people wearing short skirts in public and they cross their leg, you people have a problem with it? Guess what? She has a right to go into the excuse me. It's a natural act to wear low-cutting clothes or be half naked in the street. It's a natural act.
But you can wear a big shirt. That's not natural.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So why is it that you cannot cover up your
Zina said, Auntie Stillwaters, you're going straight to heaven.
Thank you. Feel free to cover up.
Whatever.
A little bit. I know that, like that woman, her child was crying. Sometimes it is like a necessity because you know the child is losing it. But excuse me, if you are planned and prepared for that moment, please do not feel the need to pressure on.
But there are some people who do not believe in covers.
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense. So why don't we walk around with no clothes on? Because guess what? It's natural for. Guys, it's not about being sexual. I did not say anything about being sexual.
It's not sexual.
I did not say that.
But you're saying like is what
you're like pushing this on you. That I'm in the public with you on the train and you feel that it's okay to push your boob on me.
Yes, it was not okay.
Okay, so now I'm just going to finish up with some polls that we put on Instagram. I'm sorry guys. Should there be part 2?
No. You guys,
we can't be here next week. Unfortunately, we have an event. But people on Instagram said, I'd asked, should every mother attempt to breastfeed? 81% said yes. How long do you think a woman should breastfeed for? A lot of people said, you know what, it is the mother's choice, so like whatever. If it's 6 months, fine. If it's 12 months, fine. If it's 2 years, fine. But we don't have much time anyways.
Just try.
If you can reach 6 months, then you know.
Oh, and there's some milk banks now.
Yes. So like you could have sold it.
I could have. They'll test it to make sure it's okay, and then
I wasn't doing drugs. I was good.
Yeah.
Zina said that she thinks that ladies that don't believe in covering the breast is more of an activity and a status thing. Yeah, I can see about the status thing.
You guys, we'll see you in 2 weeks. Sorry, we had to rush you guys.
Hey,
I told them they should do part 2. They didn't listen to me.
Okay, who wants part 2? Hands raised. Let us see your hands.
Let us know.
Oh, that was
we'll let you.
Okay, well, it was fine.